like a demonstration.
Yeah. How you doing, guys?
Good.
Excellent.
We'll fire up.
Yeah, I'm Adam. I'll be teaching you about drills today. If you guys want me to tell you don't know how to use it.
And the proper drilling.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, we're not learning about trainers. Awesome. Right, what we're going to go through today is what we're going to go through today, we're going to do our safety first. We always do our safety first. What do you guys know about safety with drills? First thing. Yeah, don't do it through your hands. That's a good one. Easy mistake to make. Alright, so what's your speed on your drills? Especially when you're taking a chuck in and out like that. Some people will rip themselves up. The bigger the drill bit, the bigger the damage. Another thing, we've got our safety glasses. They will come in, not so much with your wood drills, but when you get to your spade bits and your hole saws, they can throw a lot of crap in your eyes, so we use our safety glasses. When dealing with smaller pieces like this, it's not uncommon for it to spin out of your hand. So clamp it to the bench if you can. If you're working on something small, chuck a clamp on, that'll keep you safe. We've got net out area to be safe. That means no trip hazards, leads or puddles, anything like that. And not so much on these with the battery powered ones. Make sure they're all blown out, there's nothing stuck in the motors, but when you're dealing with a plug-in electrical one, just check the lead, make sure there's no brakes in it, and that it's all working fine. The pins on the plug, they're not bent. If they are, what do? Yeah, we lock them out, so just get a bit of masking tape, wrap it around it, just write whatever you want to write. Some people write F on it, whatever, just so people know, don't use. And then you go and you take that to your teacher, your supervisor, whoever, that goes off for repairs. Righto, we're going to start with different drill bits. We've got our timber bits here, right? But what's the difference between timber and the metal bits? That's right, that's what I say. The metal bits, they'll keep an edge going through wood, not the other way around. So, and your metal ones, you want to lubricate when you're drilling. We'll go through spade bits. Obviously called spade bits because they've got the resemblance to a spade. I can't open it, but you'll see what I get in a second. Yeah, so that's your spade bit. Why would we use that? That's a good idea. But why wouldn't we use a drill bit with the shank nut size?
It doesn't fit in the actual.
Won't fit in the chuck of your drill. And the bigger that is, the more it's going to get stuck in the timber. It's going to have more friction. It's going to burn its way through. So a small drill bit and a small shank means that's the only bit doing the work. It'll throw all that rubbish out of the hole. We've got over here hole saws. Where we use them?
Bigger
holes. A lot of deck fittings or through hole fittings, bulkhead fittings. Putting pipes and stuff, skin fittings. That's what you're going to use. You don't want to go with a drill or cut it out with a jigsaw. It just gives you a nice clean bigger hole. And we've got metal bits over here for drilling steel. Right, so we'll identify all the parts of the drill first. What's this bit here? Chuck, right. And this bit here, what's that switch?
Clutch.
Sorry?
Clutch,
yep. So we've got clutch there. What are all the settings been on there? We've got a hammer on there, what's that for? Hammer drill. Where will we use that? Yeah, masonry stuff. So yeah, bricks or clay or tiles. concrete, we use that. Next one's drill setting, a picture of the drill, just for drilling. And what are the other ones all for?
The clutch that stops out at a high, whatever you friction is.
Yeah, it's a torque setting. So, like your old torque wrenches, that'll stop when it gets to a certain tension. What does that stop you doing? Burning your drill. Also stops you shredding your drill heads, your screw heads. A lot of time you've been working in marine with stainless. The stainless screws, they're more expensive and they'll shred easy. When you go back to your boss and you say we need another box of stainless screws, he's not going to be happy. So you've got to set your tension lower on your stainless. Make sure you keep your screw heads looking nice. Right, so that's obviously body, your grip, trigger. What's this one here for? Forward and reverse, right? So that's your gearbox. On top of here, what's that one? Yeah, it's your speed. So you've got fast and slow, 1 and 2. Obviously this one's a battery build, so we've got our battery there, removable, and it's got a battery life indicator on there, or a fuel gauge. That'll let you know when you need to change that battery, or when you pick up the drill before you go out the side. Just check it, make sure you've got enough juice in there to do the job. Alright, now, it's not on drill, it should have been on drill. Right, now, who knows the difference between a pilot hole and a clearance hole? Yeah. And why do we need a pilot hole?
Accuracy, quite easy to get that lined up.
Yeah, and it's just a hole for the screw to put a run down. It's already got an existing hole there, the screw will follow. The reason we don't use a pilot hole for both parts is we need a clearance hole on the top part. The reason being, the screw's only designed to pull one piece towards another piece. You don't need those threads getting caught up in the top piece. They're only to hold on to the bottom piece. The screw head's there to pull it up against it. So that's why we've got a clearance hole. How do we check that we've got the right size bit for our clearance hole? Hold up against the screw. We've got a box of screws here. I'll just grab one of those. Right, so when we hold up our screw, we hold up the bit behind it. If you can see the screw heads, the threads taken through there, then this is too small. So you just need it so it's just covering all those screw heads, but it needs to be smaller in diameter than that head for it to work. Right. Now, when you're doing a pilot hole or a clearance hole, it's important that we keep that supported underneath. Do you know why? What happens if we don't do that? We got to blow out on the back. And if you're doing deck fittings or something, you're going to blow out the back. It might be going through the hull or through a bulkhead to the other side. You end up with a big repair in a different room. So we just make sure we support it. If we're hanging off the end like that, we get a blowout on the back there. And if we support it with a block behind it, we keep that force down on there, you always get a nice clean hole. It's good for joining, and you don't have to repair either side of that before you glue. You keep everything nice and flat. Now you've got your clearance hole. So we'll go this one here. And we'll check it against that screw. And that's going to work, so we'll put that one in. Alright, now there's no point in going through that with both of them with the clearance hole. We're not going to get that joint. So what you need is your sacrificial piece. You bring that along and you can drill your hole through that one. Right. that one will join up like that. Now what we've got here, impact driver. This one is used just for the screws. Some drill bits you'll find have a fitting on the back of them. It's hexagonal, it's got that groove on it. That's for the impact driver. So some screws you can't use with this. It's just been made as an easy piece, so you can use that home tool. We tend not to use these in the impact drivers too much so. What we do with the impact driver, when we put the screws in, how much pressure do you think you need on that screw? Fair bit, why's that? Yeah, slippage. If you slip on that, you're going to chew out that drill bit, that head there. You won't be able to get it back out either. So essentially, you make sure you've got that clearance hole and it's going to fit straight through. Line it up, and you're straight in there. Beautiful. That's got your torque settings on that as well. So that's a matter of if you don't have that screw to keep going when it bottoms out and to shred its way straight through, you set your torque settings a bit lighter. If you find it's not doing the job and it's just rattling away, you can up your torque settings on that. Right, now we've got our spade bits. Now with a spade bit, slightly different. You don't want to push too hard on the spade bit. The reason being, they'll heat up, and we've only got these two sort of little chisel ends here doing all the work. If they heat up and you lose that edge, you're going to be there all day trying to get this thing through timber. So we tighten that up. And we'll show you again with this hanging off the edge. You're going to get that blowout again. You've got to make sure you've got the angle straight down. Not, watch your angle. When we go straight down, you want medium to light pressure on there, and you want high speed, right? That's made a mess of the back of that. There's two ways you can approach with a spade bit and with a hole saw to get that hole nice all the way through. One is the supported method that we did earlier. And then you go through nice and slow and supported and you get that clean hole in the back. The other way you can do it is because you've got this point protruding, it's going to break through a lot before the cutting edge is. So you can go through even when you're not supported. And when you get to a point, gone right through, that's a very sharp bit. So you can stop there, turn it over, find that hole, and relocate. And you've got a nice hole straight through, right? So that's your spade bits. Now, when you finish with the drill bit, always make sure you give it a clean off. They're going to be hot after you use them, so sometimes let them cool down first, but just give it a clean off or a blow off before you put it back in the container. That just stops everybody else from getting upset with you, especially if you're borrowing tools or the company tools. Right, we've got our hole saws here. I'm going to pick a smaller one because we've got a smaller piece here. There's no auger in that one. Alright, so when we've got our hole saws, in the back of there, there's a threading hole. What we've got is a 6mm drill bit that goes through the middle of that and protrudes just higher than the cutting edge. So that'll screw into the back there, you can put it in, and that'll drill your hole. That's so that one auger can fit all those different hole saw bits. And it makes it easier to store, easier to use. This one's missing a little bit, so we won't go into that. But again, you want to support your timber all the time with a sacrificial block. So when you cut through, you're not going to be damaging and blowing out the back there. Again, you can use the other method where you drill from both sides. Obviously, that's not going to work so much for you when you're when you're doing sort of deck fittings and stuff. In those cases, sometimes you have to go halfway through, go down, check and drill back up. So it takes a bit of time. But if it's not going to be covered up, you really need to look after the other side of your drill hole. And metal bits. What do we know about drilling metal? Slow speed. And what else do we do? Lubricant, exactly. So if this was metal that I was drilling right now, you'd get either you get like a sauce bottle for the oil, or sometimes you have a tin of grease. You just get a paddle box stick or something, you just put a bit on the edge there, and nice slow speed, always supporting it. Slow speed, and that's where your speed selection comes in there too. Even pressure, and you want to have a hard pressure when you're drilling steel, because you want to cut in. You don't want it sliding around on there. It'll heat up the steel, and then it'll change the temper of the steel, make it harder to drill. The drill bit itself is made up of the cutting edge and the shank in here. Now we've got the cut, the spiral bit. When you think of a reason why you wouldn't want to go and put all that into your drill. Yeah, and that's got to disperse all the sawdust, and it'll get stuck up against your drill. The other reason is because there's a cut in that, it makes it really, really weak. So if you're going to lever something against the weak part, that's where it's going to snap. So if I've got this drill and I put it all the way in, it can snap right up here when you're in a hole. You only need a little bit of pressure sideways, and it's going to break off. It'll cost you half an hour to get that out. And when you're doing a mobile job or something, or working for yourself, then that's your money that's going down the toilet. So be aware of that. So the main things to focus on is assess what you're drilling, which drill bits you're going to need. Keep an eye on your pressure, your angle, and the speed of your drill. They're all relative to what material you're going to go through. Another thing is with the when you're doing deck fittings and stuff, if you've been given the size of the fitting, always go a couple mil bigger with your hole saw, because you're going to want to have some silicone around that to get it nice and sealed and bed that in. Sometimes what can happen is if you go really close to the size that you want and you pop it in there, you end up just scraping out that silicone. You've got nothing sealing inside of it. So make sure you've got clearance in your holes with your hole saws. Clean up. Really important with drills. You're going to have a lot of sawdust getting all over the place. Make sure you clean these out when you store them, and don't store them with a drill bit in the end. So if it falls off the bench, you smash the drill bit. And these kids can go to a different drill shop and they're missing a drill bit. Alright. Now what I've got for you guys today is I've got a link I'll get you to watch on safe operation of drills and the application of different drill bits. And after we've done that, we'll get you to do a questionnaire. We'll just put out a short quiz. Alright guys? Alright, well we'll go watch that link and we'll come back and do your questionnaires. Alright? Thanks guys.